Hey everyone, before we get into this video, I just want to state that the recap for Survivor and Amazing Race from last week will be up probably later this evening or tomorrow. It just depends on the timeline of when I'm able to get some things done. That being said, there's another issue that I need to address that I feel is very, very important. Many of you know that a lot of what I talk about on this channel, with the exception of my entertainment-based content, has to do with mental health and how to combat mental health. Now, I am not a mental health professional by trade, so I understand why some of you may be skeptical. But when I see something or hear about something that is alarming to me, of course I'm going to address it, because a lot of what's contributing to these negative feelings is mental health based. And I feel like if I can take what I hear to use it to teach you guys, then I'm going to do whatever I can. So, with that notice out of the way, and by the way, if you decide to seek professional help, by that I mean talk to a therapist or talk to another professional, by all means. I do it myself, so I think it's a good thing. Now, with that being said, I saw something just a short time ago online that I personally found very disturbing. See, many of you may know that a lot of my interests revolve around entertainment and or fitness, because fitness is and has always been a big part of my life. Well, as such, I follow a lot of fitness content because I'm always looking for new ways to learn on my own and or help others, because I'm looking to eventually get into the industry myself. However, I have heard people say that the industry can be very toxic, especially if you're a public figure. And I'll give you one example. Many of you may know of the fitness channel known as Blogilates. It's not just a fitness channel, but it's also a fashion brand. Well, they post, or I should say they did post, a lot of fitness content. Ab workouts, cardio workouts, circuit training, Pilates based, anything. Well, the thing is, sometimes the content creates a lot of backlash. By that I mean people making inconsiderate comments because they think it's appropriate to hide behind a screen and say whatever you want. What people need to be aware of, though, is this. That content is important, but the comments hurt sometimes, especially if you're talking negatively about someone's figure if they're trying to be a positive influence. Now, that's not right. Now, that being said, I understand things have changed and they've tried to adapt, by that focusing more on the fashion line than anything else. But I personally think there should be more restrictions towards negative content, especially because people need to feel safe and they need the space to create a positive environment. So therefore, if you've got something to say about something I say or something somebody else says, instead of hiding in the comments, why don't you put yourself out there for a change? If you got something to say, get yourself in front of a camera and say it. And in my case, if you got something you want to say about anything I post, then I welcome it. I don't let comments faze me, whether it be in person or online. And I know there have been some people who have been skeptical of my content one way or another. That's completely understandable. I welcome any comments, whether they be positive or negative, because one way or another, we're always learning from each other. However, as I said before, some people are a little more sensitive, and therefore, people need to be a little more understanding and a little more careful about what they say if they're hiding in the comments. Because whether you know it or not, people do pay attention to that, and it can hurt. So with that notice out of the way, to the Blogalani's team, thank you for everything you've done over the years for the fitness industry. And please, if you decide to continue, or should I say come back to making fitness-related content, we would welcome it because, as I said before, I think what you've done has made a huge difference, and it's a positive thing. So that being said, just remember, be kind to one another, especially in the comments, and remember, love one another. I'll be back with your Survivor and Amazing Race recaps in the coming days. Thank you very much.